Wand of Gamelon for Philips CDI. This is supposed to be terrible. Basically, Nintendo had a deal with Philips. I can't remember what it was, whether they were supposed to develop a CD-ROM drive for the SNES or something. I know Sony ended up essentially doing that with the PlayStation, but then Nintendo pulled the plug. I think it was the same sort of deal. But they got to make a few Mario games and a few Zelda games out of that deal. And they were pretty bad. But I picked this up cheap in GameStation. I think it was about 20 quid actually, so not incredibly cheap. A few years back, hoping that it would go up in value, and it hasn't. I think there's 3 Zelda games, and this is the least valuable one. But one day I'll no doubt get a CDI and give it a go. But nothing particularly interesting about this. Bog standard CD. Did I say Wind of Gamelon? It's Wand of Gamelon. Thinking of Wind Waker. So that's another sort of strange art of my own. I would like to play it. I think it's got really bad voice acting as well. And when I say really bad, I'm not talking Deep Fear for the Saturn bad. I'm talking guys pretending they're women because they didn't have enough people, or didn't have enough of a budget to get different people to do the voices. So Princess Zelda is literally a dude putting on this really, really bad feminine voice. So, you know, for pure comedy value, it's probably worth a look at. I got a few sealed N64 games ages ago, and I ended up opening them, so I really wanted to play them. One was Quest 64, I think one was Castlevania. This game I don't mind, WCW Mayhem, being a big fan of N64 games, but I thought it would be cool just to keep one sealed. And unfortunately for Mayhem, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, that's the chosen one. So that's just going to remain sealed. I just think it's amazing that you can go on eBay and buy sealed N64 games. It's absolutely nuts. Following up on my 3DO video the other day, I did find some of the games that are missing. I don't know where the hell they were. I think Doom's one of them. Might not have been actually, but Return Fire certainly was. I showed the add-on disc previously. Cannon Fodder as well. All very good games. I don't think I've ever played a bad version of Cannon Fodder. I don't even know if one exists, so you can't go wrong with that. These are all my N64 boxes. Pow, pow, pow. Mario. Blast Corps. Top Gear. There's some quite strange ones in it. Let's look at these. Another copy of Cannon Fodder, this time for the Atari Jaguar. In fact, you know what, I didn't show these on my tour video, so I'll pop these in now. Box with the instructions is Cannon Fodder. Again, a really good port. Double Dragon for the Jaguar. Now, if you don't know much about this, don't get excited. It's just a Street Fighter clone based on a short-running cartoon series they had, which as a kid I loved, by the way, but doesn't mean it's good. It's not bad, it's just, I mean, there's so many good beat-em-ups at that time, it's just like, what's the point in forking out for one that's bog standard when you get something quality like King of Fighters, or Street Fighter, or even Mortal Kombat, which isn't particularly brilliant, but, you know, still of a higher quality than most. Iron Soldier, among one of the better games for the Jaguar. You look at that, naked, textureless polygons. Ugh, not really into that. For some reason, when I bought the Jaguar, it came with about 10 games. I was really lucky with that, actually. Unfortunately, it turned out that Jaguar games aren't very good, and I don't like them. Just peeking in here, trying to find something interesting. These are quite interesting, actually. This is Diddy Kong Racing for the N64. Not spectacular. However, for Hong Kong only, it says made in Hong Kong, and these are actually PAL games. And yeah, they run in 60 Hz. No, they're not PAL games, what am I saying? They run in 60 Hz and they're fully in English, unlike the Japanese equivalents. So that's really cool. I got a couple of those, including the Mario 64 game they released. I forget what it's called. Basically, they re-released Mario 64 with Rumble facilities a couple of years after it came out. And I've got that boxed as well somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. There's the PAL version of Diddy Kong. If anyone was curious between the differences. I did think they did quite a good job, Nintendo, with the PAL artwork. They all had the black border, which is really cool. You know, it almost looks a bit less kiddie. But the back's largely the same. But yeah, the reason I got 2 of those is I kept all the N64 games I had when I was a kid, and then later wanted to buy the 60 Hz versions, the American versions, or whatever they were. But I didn't have the heart to get rid of the old one, just for nostalgic reasons. Yeah, so it's cool to keep. It's just cool to have something that you had since you were a kid, literally the same copy. Whatever, 64, nothing too exciting. Doom 64. I had this trade in one of my videos, which I still have. I'm not going to go on and on about trades, but this is an amazing game. I absolutely love it. If you're a fan of Doom, regardless of whether you get my copy or get it from somewhere else. Beg, steal, borrow, whatever it takes. Play this because it's really awesome. The level design's classic Doom. Gameplay, obviously classic Doom. I can't see why it didn't receive more favourable reviews at the time. I mean, I think a lot of the reviews for N64 games at the time, they wanted 3D, they wanted cutting edge, they wanted something new, and they kind of neglect to give good reviews to quality games if they weren't very innovative, which of course this wasn't. But it's still a wonderful game. It's a really good experience, like I say, if you're a fan of Doom. Also, if you're a fan of Doom and you've not heard of this and you're interested in it, look it up on the internet, just run it through Wikipedia or something, because the development history in this is quite interesting as well. The things that they had to do to make it work on the N64, what they had to take out. One of the most notable features that's missing is, you've got a double barrel shotgun in this, like in Doom 2, but there's no reload animation, and that's something out of Doom that everyone loved, or Doom 2. And you kind of wonder why it was gone, and apparently it is literally just due to hardware limitations on the N64 that prevented them from putting it in. That kind of thing fascinates me. Might be dull as hell for anyone else, but hey, there you go. As I said, Command & Conquer for the N64. This is really good. Like I say, remade with 3D sprites. I'm trying to figure out why it's so heavy. That's the box of the PAL version, which again I have for sale, if anyone wants that. I think I might show some footage of that game actually, because it's really cool, it's really unique. Another game that's really cool, that doesn't get any love, I have no idea why, is Tetrisphere, which is just a 3D game, 3D version of, in fact it's not even a version of Tetris, it's a game that bears the Tetris name, but it's fully 3D, and it's just a wonderful game. You can't really describe the gameplay of it without just giving it a shot, but it's really unique, and it's really fun. There you go, there's that copy of Mario I was on about, 64, that supports the Rumble Pack. It probably says on the back somewhere. Oh, I thought it did. Maybe it doesn't, maybe I've got 3 copies. Makes me look like a bit of a moron, but hey, that's probably the case.